Hey guys, welcome. As you can see, I finally got a microphone. Today we're going to be cleaning up one of my Inktober's from Inktober 2018. And yeah, I'm finally back after a 1.5 week break for the Christmas holidays, so that's been great. Hope you guys enjoy your holidays, had a lot of food. For me, it was a lot of food, a lot, and really cold. It was like minus 18 Celsius. I'm not sure what that temperature is in Fahrenheit, but I'm pretty sure it's really cold. And where I went, we got hit by a pretty big snowstorm too. But during my holidays, I got to catch up on some My Hero Academia. So I got through the first 2 seasons and part of the third season. And so far, I'm excited to see what's going to happen because I've been reading the manga up until now. And the manga is great, but because there's so much action, it's kind of hard to follow with the visuals. The great thing about this being turned into an anime is that the visuals can compensate for all the fight scenes and the action. And, you know, my job is an animator. I work in the animation industry here in Canada, and for what I can see, most of it, the effects of My Hero Academia is just top notch. So whoever's done the effects for that team is just on point. But other shows that I got to watch too was I ended up rewatching Fate Grand Order, the 45-minute special episode, I guess you could say. And same thing, like effects just out of the water. I really hope that they make a second one so they can get through all the singularities from the mobile game, because there's a lot more to the story than just the 45 minutes. That's just like the introduction for the game. That's basically just the tutorial. So it'd be great to see, you know, the Jeanne d'Arc storyline, and there's like Camelot with all the Knights of the Round Table, and also like Greece and all those things. So that would be really cool to see. But as for now, I don't know if they're making a second part. I know Heaven's Field Part 2 just came out in North America, so I have to watch that, and I will probably talk about that in the future. But yeah, what else did I end up watching? I ended up watching quite a bit of TV because, you know, get to take some chill time while I'm away from work. What else? I ended up watching, what else? The old Sailor Moon from the 90s. Still really good in my heart, but that's probably because of nostalgia. Voice acting wise, not the best, but hey, whatever. It was a simpler time, I guess you could say. You had like some great voice acting, and then you had Sailor Moon's voice acting, where it was just in a category of its own, to be fair. And then because I ended up watching, what else? I ended up reading the new Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card Arc chapter with huge revealer. And so I was like, maybe I'll watch the old one from that was translated or dubbed by Nelvana back in the early 2000s. And it's still, to me, very good. I know some people say they didn't like the Nelvana dubbed, but for me, I found it very enjoyable. I don't know if it's because of, again, nostalgia factor, but I found, you know, like Clamp back in the day had this certain thing where they could go very dark with the dark colors, but it'd still be light and airy, very cute, but also would be more focused on the drama and the fantasy and the magic part of it. I'm finding the Clear Card arc, though I still really, really enjoy it, because it's Card Captor, and Card Captor, in the end, is very good. It's missing that drama, kind of dark feeling to it, the mystery kind of thing to it. So, I don't know. I watched the whole anime to the end. I enjoyed it. But the ending, like, the whole anime seemed kind of off in a way. It felt like it wasn't Card Captor. It was setting up for more like a slice of life kind of anime where it was just a day-to-day anime where you saw a character's school life instead of, Sakura being the master of the cloud cards, now the Sakura cards, and this new adventure starting. It kind of felt like the adventure part got pushed aside for the slice of life kind of story. So I don't know. I'm a little bit worried that Clamp itself is losing its identity that we all kind of fell in love with. And I'm hoping that during the second season, if it does come out, we'll get to see something more special. Kind of like going back to its roots where, you'll see that mystery part of it where you'll be guessing, where did the cards come from? Where did, how is being created? How, where did the wand come from? Why do the cards look the way they do, kind of thing? Akiko? Who's her butler? Why can't Kuro connect with, what's his name? Claureed. So, towards the last episode, you kind of got that feeling of the old Cloud Card Clamp kind of style come back in play, but it took way too long for it to come back in play. I'm pretty sure they ended up losing some of their audience because it didn't have that factor. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that and see about it. But also the other issue I kind of found is that the color scheme. And I noticed that a lot of modern anime nowadays, it might just be the style, it might not be the studio itself. They do this pink, very bright, kind of washed out style, which I don't understand, to be fair. I hope that they actually go back to their darker colors, the more bold colors, the more stable lines, not this washed out, fogged, kind of glowing effect on it. The effects of Clear Card are pretty spot on too. But it, again, the action, the mystery, the fantasy part of Card Captor got pushed aside for the romance between Shaoran and Sakura, which in the end, I know it's a big part of it, but I feel like it took over the main part of the story, being Card Captor. But either way, I'll watch it. So, what else? What else did I watch? Well, I ended up actually also watching Coco from Disney. And I kept getting told, oh, it's sad. Oh, it's sad. Oh, you're going to cry. They talk about dementia. And, you'll cry at the end. And to be fair, it was pretty better than I thought, because I found that Disney in the last couple years has gone downhill. It's lost its specialness in a way. I found it kind of losing its luster kind of thing. Coco was a surprising good. It wasn't great for me. It was good. I was happy I saw it. I'll probably watch it again. The music was very good. But again, Disney's coming out with so many movies per year that, it's there's nothing special about going to see a Disney movie. And that's what, back in the day, when the original Lion King, Mulan, when it came out, it was one movie per year. And, you could tell they put a lot of work. It wasn't all about what kind of merchandise can we make off of this movie. Like modern music wouldn't make it into the movie. It would be a custom soundtrack specifically made for this movie. And that's what I liked about Coco, is that you kind of got that custom soundtrack for Coco. And not to say that, Disney movies don't get custom soundtracks, because I know they do. But like Rapunzel, the music felt kind of off. It was back to 2000, was it 15 that it came out? It felt like 2015 music, with the pop, and something still felt off. Frozen, so many trailers were released before the movie came out. The music was released before the movie came out. By the time the movie came out, there was nothing really special left for the movie when you went to see it in theaters. Again, when I first saw it, I still enjoyed it. Not to say I don't enjoy Disney movies anymore. I just think, too many trailers. The art of the trailer has been lost. That's why when I go see movies, I just watch the teaser, which gives me a good idea of what the movie is going to be like, what it looks like. And then that's it. I just ignore all the trailers. So when I do go, I don't get major spoilers, because what they do most of the time is take whatever scenes they have done, and that's usually the most important scenes they hit first, and they put that in a trailer. So that means when the trailer comes out, the most important scenes have already been shown, which, to be fair, you can show one or two, but not all of them, because then there's nothing special left in the movie to be shown. You're just showing the little bits that are in between the important parts. So, I don't know, Coco was very good. I didn't cry. I do have a grandmother who has full dementia, and I know from firsthand the experience of dealing with somebody who has dementia. And, they did a very good job of representing, how family members have to deal with memory loss, not being recognized for who they are and being close to that, but still being positive. If the family member is still very, very happy, it's always nice to see that. And it was cute, when she, spoiler alert, when at the end Miguel plays the song, she ends up remembering. It was cute. I liked it. I did find it funny that, when she died, she didn't become her younger self. She stayed her old self. So it makes me wonder, why did she stay old and the rest, went back to their best days. So that was very funny. I did like the twist at the end. I won't reveal what it is. But yeah, the art was just stunning, The design of the City of the Dead was just, the intricacy of the detail have just blown me away. I just would, the designers, hats off to you. I can tell you spent a lot of time molding the city and rigging all the props, and just great job. Speaking of Disney, I would love to hear your opinions on the live action of Lion King. Well, live action, the CG version of Lion King, and the live action version of Mulan and Aladdin. What do you think? Should it come out? Should it not come out? I saw the poster for Aladdin. To be fair, I don't like it. It looks like a knockoff Broadway version of Aladdin. I'm hoping that I'm wrong and it's going to be good, because Will Smith is in it, and I really like Will Smith. But at the beginning, I was never a humongous fan of Aladdin. I enjoyed Aladdin. I liked it. Being said, I'm very afraid of the CG version of Lion King because I'm a huge fan of Lion King. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't understand why they have to remake it because it's been nominated for multiple awards. And I'm pretty sure it did it end up winning an Oscar? Either way, I heard that the screenwriter for Lion King, is not very excited for it either. And as an artist, hearing that, I could see that she could possibly be insulted by it. Again, I'll see. I'll probably wait till it comes out on Netflix or one of the streaming services to watch it. Mulan, I'm kind of excited for that one. For that one, I'm actually kind of excited. I heard they're doing an all Asian cast, or mostly like the main characters being Asian, which could be very interesting. I'm quite interested to see how they're going to do that. I'm pretty sure they're not going to end up making it a musical. I'm interested to see what they're going to do for Mushu. Yeah, but like I'm pretty excited for that one. But yeah, like 2019 is going to be an interesting year for movies. I still need to watch actually Thor Ragnarok. We'll see how that goes. Speaking of 2019, what are your plans for 2019? Resolutions, goals, travel plans, or job plans, or anything like that? I would love to hear it. For my 2019 plan is to figure out what kind of career or direction of career I would like to do, because I've been in the animation industry for 5 years now, and it's been very fun. I liked it, but also I'm a person who likes to try different things, see the world, maybe try a different art form. I have plans to travel to Japan, like that's the travel destination now. I would love to travel to Japan and see Fuji Mountain and the onsens, the cherry blossoms, or even if I end up going during the fall, I would love to see the Japanese maples turn color. My neighbor, they have one, and it's just stunning during the fall time. I want to I might travel to Japan this 2019 or 2022, because that's when the Studio Ghibli theme park is supposed to open. And I just saw some of the concept designs, and it looks absolutely crazy cool. And as a fan of Studio Ghibli, being like Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, I am very excited. I'm hoping that they'll take their time in designing every aspect, like Universal did for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and Disney with their theme parks. Because if they do, I can see it lasting for a very long time, because Studio Ghibli is planning to come out with quite a few more movies and potential for growth in the theme park. So that'd be very, very cool. But we'll see. I don't want to go during 2020 because it's the Olympics, and cities during the Olympics can be kind of hectic and expensive. So, yeah. Other cities or countries I'd love to go to next year would be Italy or Spain. I'd love to see Iceland. I heard they have a hot spring that's supposed to be like this medicinal healing spring. And I have had friends who've gone to Iceland and gone into this hot spring, and they said they felt fantastic after. So, animators tend to overwork themselves, not just at work, but at home too. Like even these streams, I'll tend to stream till 2 or 3 in the morning without realizing. I'll just get in my bubble and zone and just go till 3 a.m. in the morning. So that takes a toll on your body. And I would love to to go on an OSINT to see if that would help. And then Jamaica is the other place. I would love to go to Jamaica. I heard it's a beautiful country. I've been to Mexico, and if it's anything like that, I'm sure to enjoy it. I always love taking tours around the cities and seeing the different cultures and cities, eating different types of food. I love the ocean. The colors of the oceans and the foliage of the tropical environments are just stunning, and I usually end up bringing my watercolors and pencils and sketching for like 8 hours a day on the beach. That's a lot of fun. So, yeah. As for goals, I know I mentioned jobs. I want to start writing more. I'm thinking of writing a webcomic and maybe or writing a book. You know, I've done some writing before and it turned out okay. Unfortunately, I ended up losing it when my phone got reset. So I'm thinking of starting another try. I think it could be really, really cool. Anyways, yeah. I would love to hear what kind of animes you guys watch, because I'm always looking for new suggestions. If you guys need any suggestions for any types of animes, I've seen my fair share of animes. I'm pretty sure my friend has compiled a list of like 300 animes for him to watch that I suggested. I don't tend to watch very mainstream animes too, so I've watched one that's called Kiba, that at the beginning can be very confusing because there's a lot that happens in the first episode and then nothing happens and then a lot happens again. But then once the main part of the story after the first episode happens, it gets pretty good. It's like a isekai, another world kind of anime, but also, you know, that chosen one kind of anime where the main character ends up with an ability he didn't know about, and then he ends up growing with that ability. Shonen Omnyoji, which is very good. I love it and always cry at the end. It's a 26 episode anime where the main character is the grandson of Abe no Seimei, who's known as the best Omnyoji of the time. And he's his grandson, so everybody expect him to be the next successor and has all these abilities. But then turns out he doesn't have the ability to see yokai. And being an Omnyoji, you kind of need that ability. And yeah, but then he finds out that there's this Mononoke that follows him around, but then he finds out he does have the ability to see. He ends up awakening it, and then the rest of the series is his adventures, you know, becoming an Omnyoji and growing his powers and trying to live up to the Abe no Seimei name. And the ending is very, very, very sad. So if you want to watch that, I recommend it, but be prepared to probably tear up at the end. If you want to watch something funny, Ueki, Laws of Ueki is very funny. It came out around the time, I think, of Naruto, and it's a tournament-ish, superpower kind of anime. It came out, I think, in here 2006, I think. You'd have to check. The main character is very emotionalist, but his friend is very outgoing and outspoken, very energetic. I would watch that too if you like the superpowers kind of thing. If you like horror, I don't watch that much horror. I've watched another, which is about a city that is cursed. It's almost like Higurashi when they cry, but there's a twist. Somebody in the city is already dead, and they're a demon that, if nobody finds out and kills by the end of, I think it's a month, everybody ends up dying. So the whole city, or this specific class, ends up trying to figure out who's the person who's actually dead. And this one girl who tends to stand out for being very gloomy. Hey, what's up, GK? How's it going? I'm great. Another is very interesting. I watched it to the end, and I'm not very good with horrors. I was watching it in my apartment, which is a basement, at night, and it ended up getting freaked out due to a thunderstorm. So yeah. Do you like horror animes, or like that kind of suspenseful kind of anime? Oh yeah, I've seen the. I can't watch that. I'm so bad with horrors. As soon as I see horror movies, I tend to be up all night. Unfortunately, I can watch suspenseful movies, but yeah, I don't know. I've avoided horror movies for a good part of my life. I don't know if you've ever read the book. I think it's called "And Then There Were None" from Agatha Christie. I'm pretty sure this anime is based. Oh, I love romance anime. I love romance anime. I'm like, the first one I watched was Fruits Basket and Arena High School Host Club. That got me on the path of watching animes and binge watching till 3 in the morning. But I'm a type of person who can watch pretty much anything except for, ecchi and hentai, because I'm not that type of person. Yeah, so if you read that book, I'm a huge fan of that book. If you read that book, I'm pretty sure there's an anime based off of it. I'm almost positive. It's called Umineko. It's based off a video game, actually. But the theme of the story of that anime is very much like that book. Basically, a wealthy family is being called back for like a reunion. And then they find out there's a witch curse, and then they end up getting killed one by one. And they have to figure out how they're getting killed without magic, basically. So the ending is very good. I've watched it a couple times, and the opening is kick-ass too. So if you like those kind of things, I really recommend it. What kind of animes have you watched so far? Are you more of an action kind of person, or fantasy, suspense? I'm a type of person who likes the chosen one kind of prophecy. I'm one of those people who likes those things. Isekai. I've watched, was it Kyokara Mao, which is so funny. The first episode, basically, the main character ends up getting flushed down a toilet, which sounds ridiculous. Oh, a Black Clover. I started reading the manga. I thought it was pretty good. I haven't watched the anime just yet. I'm kind of holding off on it. I hope they... I'd be sad if they ruin it, because the manga's not bad. It's pretty good. It has that potential. So if they ruin it, I'm gonna be really sad. Do you like, mechas is another type? Because I'm a huge Gundam Seed kind of fan. I have yet to watch Gundam Destiny or, what's the other one? There's like so many. Saint Seiya is another one that's very good. Too many. Like I said, too many to watch. What's I still need to finish actually Fairy Tail. I got through to I think it's episode 72 and then I don't know why I ended up stopping actually. So I need to finish that. Oh. What else? I'd have to pull out my list to give anime suggestions. I have too many. Well, yeah, that's very true. I don't compare unless it's like blatantly there. Like you could see if they basically recolored the characters. But I tend to watch animes as its own. So like I could easily say another is very much it's a carbon copy of Higurashi When They Cry. But I see it as its own anime because there are some differences. The art style is completely different. The tone of it is very different. Higurashi When They Cry, the first episode's very innocent and cute. They basically pull you in and mislead you into this gore fest. Oh yeah, like Versus. Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's a whole other category. I've seen fan-made videos where they'll take Goku and Naruto and do like a battle. Oh my god, yeah. What was I don't like when characters are basically OP from the start. I like the build-up. I like where a character starts from nothing and then gets powerful as the story goes on. Or if they're basically OP at the beginning, there's something to kind of prevent them from using all out. Like, Deku's a good example. He's, like, super OP. But he can't use all his powers. I know Saitama's, like, just too much. He's a little extra, you could say. I actually haven't watched One Punch Man. It's on the list to watch. When I get a free weekend, I might just binge watch the whole thing. But I've heard the opening, I think, almost 1,000 times, because, you know, the opening is pretty awesome. If you want something to get you hyped for something, you listen to the One Punch opening, and then you're good to go. If you're, like, stressed for a presentation, you listen to the One Punch Man opening, and you're pumped up to go. I actually read the manga, so I know basically the whole story. I've only watched up to season 2 of the anime, so you go ahead. If you want to spoil it, you go ahead. I'm okay with it, because I've read up to the latest chapter that just came out. Go ahead. Be free. Write to your heart's content. But I will say, I'm predicting, and this is really sad to say, I'm predicting that All Might's gonna die. I'm predicting that Deku's only gonna inherit full One for All once All Might dies. I think. This is don't go by my opinion. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're going that direction. But I like All Might. I don't want him to die. He's like best dad. Oh, I know. I know a lot of people like Bakugo. I don't like him. He makes me angry. I was watching this alone and I just kept screaming at the TV. Especially when Deku was complimenting him for his good deeds. I was like, no, Deku. Be quiet. He's not good. I know he's supposed to be this anti-hero, but no. Yeah, his mom very much reminds me of my mom. When I was going through animation school, it was an easy time, and she did the best that she could do to help me and to calm me down when emotions were just all over the place. So seeing Deku's mom actually made me cry a couple times just because it brought back some very heavy memories of my mom and my relationship with her. So that was nice to see. I like how the characters are so real and the relationships of the characters are so real. You can relate to Deku, the struggles of, not being the best, and you have to build up, and and even his friends in Class A is just so good too. Yeah. Yeah, but I like Todoroki. Oh god. For me, he's like the top. His emotional battles are insane. And I know Deku's going to be there 100% the whole way. And that's good. I'm happy about that because I had friends who were naturally talented in art, and it took them 3 tries to draw, and for me to watch that was so frustrating, being behind and drawing a simple thing as a face. It was so frustrating to watch, and I couldn't draw it even though I had the image in my head and the idea in my head. But then I spend 8 hours a day drawing, practicing, and then I ended up getting better. And that's what I feel like Deku, I can relate so much to. Like, even natural talent people can be left behind, but people who work hard will be ahead. And go have a great shower. Dun, dun. For the others, what are your thoughts on My Hero Academia? Here's my question. If you had a quirk, and it can't be the like almighty powerful quirk, like OP quirk. If you had a quirk, what would it be? And once you decide that quirk, you have to have a weakness to it. So what would your weakness be to that quirk? For me, I would love to have the quirk of flight. But I feel like my weakness to that quirk would be stamina. I could not last long in the air. I feel like I could fly maybe like 5 minutes and then I'd pass out. And then what's the other question? The question number 2. Once you find out your weakness, could you be a hero with it? Personally, for me, just flight, I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. I'd have to have, like, something else to go with flight. So I'd have to probably learn martial arts or, be a specialist in weapons or something. And then question 3, how would you make that weakness less? How would you, combat that weakness? Like in the summer camp episodes, they take on their weakness and then they work against it. Deku, there's not much he can do except make his body stronger. So during the summer camp episodes, he just fights the whole time and does like exercise, like crunches and stuff. But I like how they make Todoroki take a bath the whole time while consecutively using his powers and alternating between hot and cold. I thought that was very clever. Also, questions for everybody. Questions today, as this is my first stream with a microphone. What movies are you excited for in 2019? I am excited. I don't actually know what I'm excited for in 2019. I didn't really see any movies that really popped out for me. But that, might change. Who knows? I did see Frozen's coming out in 2019, and I'm not very excited for that, to be fair. When Frozen came out, at the time, I was working at Toys R Us. And on top of working at Toys R Us, I was working during the Christmas time. So all the Christmas shopping, and it was a lot. I was working near the, so when you work at Toys R Us, you're divided in sections for the toys. So everybody has a section they need to take care of. So my job at the time was a cashier, but when it wasn't busy enough, I was given a section to organize and restock and, the typical storefront kind of person. And so the section they made me work in was girls' toys. So that would be Frozen toys and Disney toys and Ever After toys. Oh, by the end after 2 weeks of working in girls' toys, oh man, I was singing Let It Go in my dreams. It was a lot. So, needless to say, I'm not very excited for Frozen 2. I hope Disney proves me wrong and it's actually good. But I'm just so over Frozen. They didn't need to make a sequel. Like, they made their short, they made their movie, they made so much money, and for people to say that it's better than Lion King, I'm a little bit peeved about that. But that might be because, I grew up with the VHS of Lion King. It might be just nostalgia factor, nostalgia factor. Damn it. So, an interesting factoid. I ended up leaving Toys R Us for a job in animation. I was given a job about a couple months after I started at Toys R Us. And I was told to leave, move to a city 5 hours away within a week. And I think that was the most stressful and terrifying part of my life that I've done. If I think about it now, I was crazy. I don't know why I did that, but it was also probably the best choice I could have done for myself, because I'd finished animation school, and it had been a year just working in retail, which is fine. I did enjoy some part of retail. I did enjoy interacting, at Toys R Us. It was fun to interact with the little kids, seeing them glow when they found the thing they wanted, or if they saved up their money and they were buying a toy for themselves for the first time. That was very cute. But you had this diploma that you put all this time and effort for. There were times where I didn't know if I was going to make it into the animation industry, and it was very just stressful. So, made the decision, moved over to the city. But, speaking of working in girls' toys, after the first job that I had, my contract had ended. So I had to find another studio. I ended up finding a studio to work at, and I noticed that they had this one show that they were working on. They had in production at the specific studio. And I noticed that one of the shows had a product that I had to work with at Toys R Us that was not the best of times. And when they told me I had the job, I prayed that I wouldn't be working on that show. I was praying, and I ended up working on that show, and it was probably one of the best shows that I could have worked on for experience-wise. I had to learn fast, and I was terrified, but it was one of the best shows that I could work on because it gave me the experience to get my career very much started. So, lesson of the story. If you have an opportunity to do what you love, take it and work your butt off so you grow as a person and as whatever artist of whatever career that you choose. Because if you don't, then you'll probably end up missing a chance that could have been amazing. If I didn't take the chance, then I'd probably still be working at a retail store, being very unhappy. And to any young artist who feels like everybody else in their class is better or your friends are better, all I can say is I felt the same too. And all you can do is practice. Because in the end, the people who work the hardest will end up being the better person. But for one thing that actually surprised me most about the industry is I'm, you know, anime is very much a big part of my life. I ended up growing up with it. One being like Bleach and Cardcaptor and Naruto and One Piece and Zatch Bell and what else? Full Metal Alchemist. Not a lot of people in the industry like anime. Because I've met a couple people and they like, anime to a certain point. I just thought it was very odd, but anime itself is very odd. So it's not for everybody. It's a definitely acquired taste, like a wine. And a delicious wine must be savored. So if you're introducing anime to a friend who has never seen anime before, maybe start with something simple. What would be a simple anime to introduce your friends to? Depending on their age, if they're in their teens, Full Metal Alchemist could be a good one. Though the shock factor at the beginning could be a lot. Maybe Gundam Seed might be good, but depends. It depends what they're into. Maybe more of a slice of life, something more realistic could be good. What about you guys? What do you guys think would be a good introduction anime to show to people to kind of get more people into anime as an introduction? Something that isn't too, extreme for the people, the normal folk. Dun, dun. Also, on my streams, I'm gonna do Fan Art Friday. Those are gonna be later streams for the later night. But what kind of fan art would be interesting? I'm probably gonna do another Fate Grand Order poster, but I'm also thinking of doing another My Hero Academia poster. I do have a commission to do. If you guys want to see that, they said it's okay to go ahead and stream that. One of them being JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, doing a sticker for them. Another one would be Sailor Moon. Maybe some Pokemon EV evolutions, maybe some human form EV evolutions. Let me know what kind of Fan Art Friday would you guys like to see. I would love to hear. Always looking for some amazing suggestions because this brain does not work past 10. So if you guys have suggestions for Fan Art Friday, that'd be great. I'm probably going to end up... I'm thinking maybe doing a Todoroki Avatar The Last Airbender kind of crossover. I think that might be cool. But we'll see. I'm not sure yet. Also, Have you guys read all the Harry Potters? Total switch of subject, but have you guys read all the Harry Potters? I've seen all the movies multiple times. I've even gone to the movie theaters and paid money to go see them in 3D. I've even been to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter before finishing the actual books. So I just finished them. I'd love to hear your opinions on that. What is your favorite book? Mine is probably book 1 is always good because it's the beginner book. It's the introduction to the Wizarding World. It kind of gets you sucked into the whole magic thing. Probably book, I'd say 5. But book 4 is also really fun. I really like it. Just because you get to see another side of Harry before he turns, like, to the whole Voldemort thing, which is, you know, a big part of his life after book 4. Understandably, because of the ending. But somebody made a great description, like, things that they took out of the Harry Potter movies is that in the maze, there's a Sphinx that asks Harry a question where Harry has to use his knowledge. And in the movies, you don't get to see much of Harry's thinking process, his rationality, his, you know, intelligence. So this is really cool to hear while I was listening to the audiobooks. To hear about, you know, his thinking process of trying to figure out this riddle. And so that was really cool. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Also, I feel like they botched the Yule Ball in the movie, even though it looks stunning. Like I think every person would love to go to Yule Ball if it looked like that. But I don't know. It wasn't super interesting in the books either, but I feel like in the 4th movie, they just made the Harry this kind of angry, just unpleasant person during the Yule Ball. So I don't know. But like I feel like in the Harry Potter franchise, if I were to like pick one of the movies where they killed the most, it would be movie 6, because when I saw the movie in the theaters, I hated so much the 6th movie, just because I thought it was so boring. I know it was supposed to be like the calm before the storm of movie 7, but I hated it so much. It felt so out of place, being this back to kind of normal high school kind of like thing. It just made me so mad, and so I was going to skip book 6 and head right into book 7, but I'm happy I didn't, because it turned out to be a better book than I thought, so that made me really happy. And it just made me laugh. I will say one of my favorite scenes in book 6 that I always laugh to is when Harry takes the Felix Felicis and he goes to see Hagrid in the movie, not the book, in the movie, and he reenacts Aragog's pincers where he goes, and I found that very funny. I don't know why, for some reason. I think it's just because it's such a like gloomy scene where Hagrid's actually really, really sad. You never see Hagrid really, really sad, and Harry just takes it as like a plus that this thing is dead. And the teacher's like, well, I can sell his venom for a lot of money, so let's take this venom while my friend cries. Find it ridiculous. And then the whole they get really drunk or intoxicated afterwards is even better. It makes the whole scene even better. So I thought that was really fun. But then also during book 4 and 6, it makes you realize that Ron isn't the best of person. Like I actually don't really like Ron until probably the last part of book 7. Just because I know it's to make him more realistic. You know, everybody has their faults. Everybody is not perfect. But Like in book 4, you've known this person for 4 years now. He saved your life countless times, but you know for a fact that he doesn't want to be in the spotlight. But as soon as his name gets picked out of the Goblet of Fire, you know, like on top of that, everybody knows that there's somebody who's out there to kill him. I feel like that should be the signal. But as soon as his name gets pulled out from the Goblet of Fire, Ron says, "You're just in it for the glory. Why couldn't you take me?" And he gets all angry and just betrayed by Harry and just feels like the worst about himself. And I know it's because he wants to be in the spotlight for once. But your poor friend is being put into this killer situation. And all you can think of, oh, well, you should have taken me too, kind of thing. And I was listening to this and I was just totally done with Ron at that point. And then when Hermione, who's like the best of her time, ends up with him, I just shook my head. But whatever, it's fine. It's still a good series. I still really like it. It's still amazing. The people who did for the movies, who done the designs for the sets and the props and the costumes, such a great job. Like, it's just stunning. The reason why I think Harry Potter will be timeless compared to some other movies is because they've created this world that could fit to any time period without, there's no like pop song that could date it. There's no clothing. There's not really any like muggle clothing, normal clothing that could date it even more. Maybe some of the technologies when he's with his aunt and uncle. But other than that, you're just at Hogwarts, which means during that time, you don't know what time period it is, which is great because that means people from like 20 or 30 years from now could watch this and be like, oh, okay, you know what, Hogwarts could exist. It could be a real thing. You know what, I could meet Harry kind of thing. Like, little kids can do that. So, like, yeah, like, back to my point of Disney movies being dating themselves with some trendy musics of the time. I know, like, Cinderella and Snow White had very much so music of that time, but I feel like that time period, the music could be timeless because it had such a mystical kind of all-timey sound to it. Though Snow White now is a little bit like the high-pitched voice is a lot, but Cinderella is like it's timeless. You could watch it any period of time and just be, yes, I can watch it. So that's how I feel like Harry Potter is, especially with the soundtrack. It's just like instrumental, except for the 4th movie during the Yule Ball, which is whatever. You could be put into any time period and it would fit, which makes me really happy. But also, what makes me laugh is that I'm pretty sure Hogwarts doesn't have electricity during the movies, like the time period of the movies, which makes me laugh because you go from Hogwarts to the Dursleys, and the Dursleys have electricity, but Hogwarts, I'm pretty sure, doesn't, but they sort of have plumbing, but it's just weird. Anyways, so anybody who's new on this channel, I do sketching sessions. So some days I'll be drawing my own art, some days I'll be doing fan art, and then eventually I'll actually be having a podcast talking about Harry Potter, Disney's movies coming out, the animation industry, the good and the bad parts of it. We'll be talking about Harry Potter because we're both Potterheads, my friend and I. I may do a couple gaming videos, but they'll be like on the side thing. They won't be a huge thing. But yeah, like it's just so I don't get bored of sketching, to be fair. Because sketching alone, it can be boring, and I don't like it, and it's just me in my apartment all alone. So, if you guys like to chat about anime, and your likes of animes, and interests and suggestions for anime, subscribe, and we can chat all the time. I would love to hear your opinions on specific animes. I took a break of the latest animes. I would love to hear a good latest anime to watch, because I'm kind of out of anime to rewatch. So yeah, please stay and chill with me, sketch with me. If there's anything you guys want to know about sketching or animation, if you yourself are an animation student and want some advice on a specific situation for a project, I'd love to help you with that if I can, because who knows, your situation might be unique and I can't help you, and I'll just say go see your coordinator or teacher. If you're a third or fourth year student in college and freaking out about your final film, we can chat. I can help you chat through it so you don't freak out, because I know y'all can do it. And any animation student that makes it to their final year for their film or final animation is just incredible, because I've been there. And the tears. Oh, the tears. Oh, the Starbucks. Actually, any graphic design people who come by, I would love to hear your opinion on your course. Because, when you're in animation, all you hear is animation is hell. You don't really hear anything about other art programs. So, let me know. I will love to hear about it. Also, on this channel, my friend and I, the one that I'll be doing the podcast with, we'll be doing drawing challenges. Things on I saw on the Odds Ones Out, where they took Pokemon and changed their element. So we'll be doing that too this year. I don't know exactly when. I can't give you a date or time. But we will be doing that. So we might do that for some other stuff. So we might do a day where we give each other 2 character names and we have to mesh them together. So we might have a great one would be Naruto and Full Metal Alchemist. Ed Elric. I feel like that would be hilarious. Could you imagine? But honestly, I don't think Naruto is that smart, so I don't think he could be an alchemist. He'd probably make the place explode. Let's be fair. I wonder what Edward Elric would say to jutsus. I think that'd be hilarious to see that. He'd be like, look what I can do. I can do equivalent exchange. I can do this thing with this, but I need all this material. Naruto's like, hey, listen, I can make another clone of myself. I can create an energy ball out of nothing but the energy in my body. I can make a fox appear from inside my stomach. Be ridiculous. I feel like Edward would be like, teach me your ways. And thinking Naruto's super smart, because he's probably thinking that Naruto's the ultimate master of alchemy, but he's just an idiot who can do a lot of cool jutsus. To anyone who doesn't live up north, it is bloody cold here. We have snow. It's very cold. I don't like it. I would love to hear about your weather. If it's warm, if it's sunny, what time is it? Because it's really dark outside and I should probably quit the stream soon. So I'll probably do another 10 minutes. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I'm away, money. No, So, food for thought. I will actually leave with the question again. Speaking of My Hero Academia, what would be your quirk? First of all, number one. Number two, what would be that weakness to quirk? Because we can't do an almighty quirk without a massive weakness. And number three, how would you overcome that quirk? So like I said, my quirk would be, I feel like flight because I've always wanted to fly. My weakness would be no stamina to keep flying, so my head would crash and burn really fast. How to overcome it? It'd probably be building up my stamina so I can support my body weight to keep flying. Also, question 4. I'm going to add a question. Would you consider your quirk hero worthy? Or would it be a mundane kind of quirk for every day? It's been nice chatting with you all. I hope you guys stay and subscribe. I do a stream usually every day, from around 7 or 8 to 10. And yeah, subscribe. I'd love to hear your comments and your opinions on specific things. Ciao!